Hello and welcome to Messy Mindfulness. I am your host, Christine, and I look forward to this journey together at talking about mindfulness and, most importantly, talking about how we can live with more peace and more ease with this human brain and this human body we all exist with. I don't know about you, but for most of my life, I've been a little bit at war with myself, my thoughts, how I feel about my body, what my body can do or can't do, what my mind tells me I can or can't do, a whole host of things that I'm not going to go into here. We'll save that mess for later. But this is an opportunity for us to talk about real things that impact real people and to get really honest about the mess that can be our lives. Now, messiness is not just something to clean up. Messiness is, in many ways, an example of a life well lived. And so I'm not here to say you need to solve any problems or you need to cure any part of you, but rather just learning to, again, live with more peace and ease. This has been created as an inspiration for my students in my course that I offer called Mindfulness, Meditation, and Movement. And this is a course I've been teaching now for 6 years at Inver Hills Community College. So if you are one of my students, hello and welcome. And if you are not one of my students, hello and welcome. Everyone is welcome here. But in that class, we talk about different topics with wellness, mindfulness, we do meditation, we move together, and it's just a wonderful opportunity to be human with one another and to talk about things and to work through things that we're experiencing. And many of my students have asked for, what do you recommend outside of class? Who offers these kinds of things out in the world? And I didn't have a lot of great options. So I was like, well, then I'm going to go ahead and offer that. So this is offered as a continuation for the class, but you don't have to have taken the class to be here. This is all just come as you are. I will meet you where you're at as I try to meet myself where I'm at every single day. So what is messy mindfulness and why is it different than other kind of wellness things that are out there in the world? That's a great question. And I'll just start right away by saying this beautiful garden that I'm in, which I am so grateful for, is the garden that's right next to my home. Very lucky for that. But this has a very challenging history, and my husband and I got this garden or this land after our neighbor was killed in an arson homicide. Yeah, right? So talk about messy, that's about as messy as it gets. And it was a really heartbreaking experience. It was scary. It was a whole host of things. And we vowed to turn this, what had been a place of a lot of pain and angst into something really positive for ourselves and for the community. As importantly as what it was for us was how it was for our neighbors. And this is an example of messy mindfulness, right? We think of the metaphor of the phoenix. This really, we wanted to have something beautiful rise from the ashes. Now, that metaphor, little did I know at the time, would come in handy so many more times. And we'll talk more about that in the future. We're not going to start with all that today. But messy mindfulness is really, again, being honest about the struggles we face and facing them with love, compassion, in my case, humor, because that's where I come from, but not turning away from the challenges of life. I have found in my case that many mindfulness gurus, experts, all of that out there have provided me with a lot of great knowledge and information, and I am very grateful for all of them. But I kept feeling like it didn't belong. Like my life was way messier than everyone else's. When other people are talking about, the different challenges they have, and I'm thinking, my neighbor was murdered, right? But that's a very different kind of reality to live in. But what I found is being honest about that is it was much more similar for a lot of my students than what was out there as well. So it's not like we're always going to talk about depressing things. We're going to have fun too. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to move together. We're going to meditate, but we're not going to shy away from the realities of life. So what I hope is that you will show up when you can for what you need, and that we can get through this thing called life together, because here's the thing, none of us get out of here alive, so why not make the best of the time that we have? So with that, I look forward to seeing you in future episodes where we will talk, We will meditate in some, we'll move in some, and you can always opt in to what makes sense for you. So I'm so glad you're here, and I look forward to being with you on this journey.